Uh, Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to Maths M2 room, where we are going to discuss about embedding social justice through a maths lesson. So we have with us a few maths lessons across three sections: primary, middle, and the senior section. Am I audible to everybody? Can I get a thumbs up, please? So, as Neha Mama said, that we are all on this journey to embed justice, to create a justice mindset in children, in the youth, and so that they all become advocates of justice. So I'll start. May I welcome Sir Ritesh from St. Vincent's. I'm Teresa from St. Mary's, Dum Kolkata, and my co-presenter is Sir Ritesh from St. Vincent's, Asansol. So may I request you to share the screen? I'll start with the class 4 lesson. I'll take you through the maths lesson in class 4, where we will use story sums to embed justice. So the question is, each female employee and male employee of a company is paid a salary of rupees 8,563 and rupees 9,356 respectively for the same work. Find the amount paid to a group of 17 males and another group of 17 females. Find the difference in salary between the two groups. So the teacher reads out the question, and with the help of the students, she frames the statements, and children are encouraged to write the statements and do the calculations. So after they write the statements and they do the calculations, they finally come to the answer, where the answer is amount paid to 17 females is 1,45,571, and amount paid to 17 males is 1,59,052. So there is a disparity, and we children can themselves point out that the men, the females, they get a higher pay compared to the females. So in this situation, the teacher can just put up a fill in the blanks activity and say, ask the class, in this situation, dash gets a higher pay than woman. So it is children themselves will come. Can someone just give me that answer who gets, and just answer me? In this situation, someone gets a higher pay than women. Yes, thank you so much, Deepti, ma'am. And so I've got both the answers to my fill in the blanks. So the men get a higher pay than women. And so this is fair or unfair? So this is obviously children will all shout out that it is unfair. And then we connect them to either, since it's primary, people, we are talking about people, focusing on people, or SDG. So we tell them that which SDG, since children in class 4, they are already acquainted with SDGs, we ask them that which SDG would you connect it with? So children, they are aware of it, but teacher can also help by saying that SDG 5, gender equality, talks about. So SDG 5 talks about gender equality. And then the class can all come together and have a small declaration like, by 2030, because the SDGs are all about 2030, I hope that there will be gender equality in every home, institution, and workplace. I will now go over to a class 7 lesson on percentage. In a town with a population of 90,000, there are 30% girls and 45% boys, and the remaining are adults. Find the number of girls, boys, and adults. Out of 30% girls, only 20% goes to school, 40% of the boys go to school. Find the number of boys and girls going to school. So the justice element that the teacher can trigger a discussion is that, why do you think the percentage of girls going to school is less than the percentage of boys going to school? Also, why is there a difference in the population of boys and girls? So here again, gender inequality, and the SDG is SDG 5. So if we can just trigger a discussion, a few questions, and bring it before children to realize that girls are not treated at par, girls are not treated equally. I think that awareness is what can lead to them to think and advocate for the cause of gender inequality. I'll go over to another lesson for class threes. This is again for the primary. An award-winning company manufactured 573,801 zero carbon emission electric cars in a year. If 299 1,938 such cars were manufactured in the first half of the year, how many were manufactured in the second half? A simple subtraction word problem. But what we will see is that children can find the calculations, they can get the answer, but we will highlight, maybe underline zero carbon emission electric cars. What does that mean? That means an engine or motor or a process. By the term zero emission, it means or any other energy source that emits no waste products that pollute the environment or disrupt the climate. So zero carbon emission electric cars do not pollute the earth. The earth will be a better place and more developed and organized. So the SDGs we will deal with it will be SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. So may I now request Ritesh sir to lead us with other maths exercises?
Sure, miss. Now, this is for grade 9 and 10, and the age is 15 to 16 years. It's linear simultaneous equation. Now, here I'll be giving an example that we already know, that's caution on the road awareness drive. So in linear equations, we assume the variables as x, y, z, or a, b, c, and d. So traffic rules and signs are important because of the following reasons. Why? You already know it, that ensures smooth traffic as it informs the driver about the correct lanes to drive in. Knowing traffic rules reduce the number of accidents. That's the most important one, by ensuring discipline on the roads. Now, suppose this is the chart over here. So what we can do not enter. You can take variable as a or whatever you want to take it, and stop as b variable. So from the first line, we could get a first row, we could get two do not enters are there and two stop signals are there. So meanwhile, we can educate the student about the signals as well as how to use it in linear equation method. For example, it will be 2a plus 2b equal to 26. So we'll be getting an equation in form of a and b. Then we'll look into the first column. All the four signs are different. So we can take it as a plus b plus c plus d equal to 27, and so on. It goes on. For example, column 2, all the signs are same. So if it is the variable b, we can directly take out the value of b. At the same time, we can educate the student about the signs. So this is how we can calculate social goals in our class. So I'll go to the next class, that is arithmetic progression. You all being a maths teacher would already be knowing it. So I wouldn't be going in detail explaining you about what arithmetic progression is. So we already know it's a first term, second term, and the list goes on, and there's a common difference to it. So what we can do over here is, this is an activity over here. We can tell them that there are total 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 levels. So on the top level, you put one block. A block can be anything. Even you can use matchbox if required, or pencil or sharpener, whatever you want. So on the top level, there is one block. And in the second level, there are 5 blocks. And in the third, there are 9 blocks. This pattern continues for the rest of the levels down to 13 levels at the base of the pyramid. Now, on the first block, the student have to, like we'll be giving him an exercise that you have to self-actualize the need for development and creativity. On the second level, the need for self-esteem, power, recognition, and prestige. On the third level, the need for being loved, belonging, or inclusion. Yeah, anybody wants to say anything? Okay. The fourth one is security. That is a child's need for safety, shelter, and stability. And the last one is physical. That is need for air, water, food, rest, and health. Now we can all relate this to all the 17 SDG goals. Students themselves will start relating it. And once they start relating it with the SDG goals, we'll be able to teach them about the current arithmetic progression. Now I understand that you are, yes, Prashanti ma'am. I'm sorry, can you please repeat your question? Uh, I think by mistake, Teresa ma'am, her mic is unmuted. Can you please mute it? Now, I understand that being a teacher, you already are having a workload. So sometimes you may not get time to design a question based on SDG. So suppose this question is purely based on a probability. There's nowhere mentioned that it's been related to SDG anywhere. So this question is like a conditional probability and theorem of total probability and a Bayes theorem. All these three are being missed in this case study. So in this case study, it says that the reliability of a COVID-19 test is specified as follows. So of people having COVID-19, 90% of the test detects the disease, but 10% go undetected. Of people free of COVID, 99% of the test is just COVID negative, but 1% are diagnosed as COVID positive. So from a large population of which only 0.1% have COVID-19. So 1% is selected at random, given the COVID-19 test, and pathologist reports him or her as COVID-19 positive. So based on the information above, what is the probability of the person to be tested as COVID-19 positive, given that he is not actually having COVID? So there are 4 MCQs related to it. A student will just solve and will get out the answer as 0.01. So over here, you don't need to create a question. You already have a question over here that is purely mathematics. Now we can ask student, can you relate this particular question to SDG goals since they'll be of class 12? So they can relate it easily. They'll be relating it to goals like gender equality, because in all the question you'll see that it is asked person. It's not being referring to any gender. So gender equality is there. And since it's related to COVID-19, so you can go on to the topic and ask them how it is being related to other goals. For example, they can talk about COVID and say that sir, no poverty should be there. Reason being, somewhere having food to eat and some people were not having food to eat. Some people were starving. So why there's a disparity over there? So you can relate the question to SDG according to your convenience and you can go ahead with it. It's not always important to make a question based on SDG. There would be infinite questions in the book, in whichever book you'll be following it. You can just relate that particular topic to the SDG. Anybody have any doubt or anything?
Thank you, Ritesh sir. That was very nice. And I'd like our participants to come out with any suggestions and questions. And I have a question which I would like to just ask, and everybody can just spend a couple of minutes uh, talking and thinking about it, and you can put in your whatever you want to share in the chat box, or even raise your hand and answer. Have you been trying to have such conversations in your class? SDGs, environmental issues, social justice, and all that SDG related matters. Have you been having it in your class? So the question is there in the chat box. Have you been trying to have such conversations in your classrooms? Yes.
If you want to speak, you can
Uh,
unmute yourself and you can speak.
yes. Thank you, Ms. Sharma. You've been having assemblies based on it, right? Wonderful. So would you like to share about those assemblies and tell us more about how you have been doing it in your school?
Good evening, everyone. Sure, I'm very happy to be a part of this program, and it is really very well conducted. And the good examples you have given us, though I am teaching maths to primary level, class 5, so 4 and 5. So whenever I take sums, let me come to this clearly. When you mentioned the questions, I always talk of this like social justice or something like that. So
Right.
like men, women, we all, because ours is a girls' school. I'm from the Presentation Convent Senior Secondary School, Jammu. So ours is a girls' school. So this is the main topic, like sometimes gender equality and assemblies, ma'am. From the last so many years, I had the full assembly on STG. Last three students performed, and that very year, I think it was introduced. The topic was introduced. So in our school, we have different clubs, and our principal has given duty to every club. For one, we take one STG goal, and we have assemblies based on that. Like A section 5 will do this, um, class 4 will do this, or 6 and 7. So this way, it is being given. So we celebrate our Christmas. There we take this no poverty. We have our this thing food collection. So this way we keep on involving our students in such activities, and we make them being a Christian school. So we teach them the basic values about sharing, caring, love for other. So this way.
Thank you, Ms. Shalu. That was wonderful and very inspiring. So another question that I would like to put before you is, did you find any lesson topics, concepts similar to what you teach in your school curriculum? Have you had such similar lessons and topics, like you might be from some other part of the globe, and are these issues also relevant, and do you have these type of lessons, topics, concepts? Would anybody like to
Ma'am,
share?
recently we had a workshop with the students also, and for the for the teachers also, on the child abuse. So child safeguarding, we are a part of this code of conduct we have prepared for our classrooms. So we are like awareness, like we are creating an awareness among our children, that how we can be safe, especially girls. As I said, ours is a girls' school. So, child, recently we have few days back. So, we had a child safeguarding and awareness.
That's
So,
wonderful.
from
And
time and time, we keep on having such assemblies and such awareness drives and such workshops we
awareness.
keep on conducting. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's
Thank you.
great.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes. Anybody else would like to share, and how social justice is a very much a part of the curriculum in your school? There's another question also that's come up in the chat box. Thank you, Ritesh sir, for the question. Which class do you teach? And the topic, whichever was discussed and explained and shared, do you find it useful?
I think due to time constant, we were too fast. Shall we go too slow or little slow with the topics?
I mean,
Everyone
yeah,
got
the
the topic
first,
that we discussed?
did everybody understand the topic that we discussed? And yes, you can even, maybe raise your hands if you go to the chat sections. Yeah, Miss Chalu says yes. Yeah, a lot of thumbs up. Yes. So that's wonderful and encouraging. So,
Okay. So it's basically whatever we teach in the class, we try to relate it with SDG goals so that there's an awareness to it. So our goal is like we have to develop skills for justice and advocacy for the students so that when they go out in the outer world, they can do something for this world.
yes, yes. Basically, their children are the advocates for justice,
Yeah.
nurturing a justice mindset. Like, even if they say a simple thing, also, they can immediately say, this is just and this is unjust. So, what are the ways by which this justice can be removed? If they even talk about it, if and classrooms are the best places where children will express themselves and teachers can lead such wonderful conversations. So if you can trigger a conversation, you can trigger a discussion on any social issue, so
For
that itself
example,
is
yeah, for example,
embedding.
relating it to COVID only, like self-awareness. It was the most important thing during COVID. We have to be self-aware. And then not only self-awareness will help you, even respect for others. And then we have to raise awareness about that particular situation and then taking action. In the taking action part, it was like not only keeping the food or materials to ourselves only. We needed to share at that particular moment. We needed to see that if anybody else also needs something or not. There was like shortage of everything at a time. Hearing about COVID, there was a rush in the stores and everywhere. So sharing was also needed over there. So if SDG goals, like we will be continuously teaching our students, they'll be relating everything, and I think the humanity would be there. So if anybody wants to add anything or want to speak anything, they can unmute yourself and speak or say it in the chat box, whatever you feel like, whichever topic you think that you can relate this maths topic to the SDG goals or anything. Okay, I received
Miss
the message.
Robin Gupta has sent a question. The question is, uh, while giving math problems in class 1, often use a name of a girl. For instance, Shruti earns this much and spends this much. I feel that it helps in explaining gender equality. Ben, wonderful example. Yes, generally it's always the stereotypes are that we generally take on the names of boys. So if we can make a conscious effort and change it to the name of a girl, that's a wonderful idea, sir. Thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you, Miss. That was my experience in my class.
Wonderful.
Uh,
Yes, yes.
so I
Okay.
generally try to give questions and I give the names of girls so that the children they can ask, because we have boys' school mainly in our school, St. Patrick's.
Right.
So the boys can understand gender equality well based on that.
Wonderful. Yes, that's a very
Thank you.
thoughtful uh, idea, and which we can all start. In fact, while I've been doing social justice, I always feel that if we can just change the word problems a little bit, we can connect it to any SDG and or any social issue.
Right, right, right.
Like
Thank you. Yes.
addition word problems for class 1 also. In the year 1990, we had so many elephants. In the year 1992, we had fewer number of elephants. So in that way, children are seeing the numbers are gone down. So why? That can it can become a question, a discussion in the class. Why do you think?
Yes.
Because of poaching and animals are being just taken away for the task, and how fair is this? Just making children a little more sympathetic towards when we're talking about the primary classes. Senior classes can have more relevant mathematical graphs and equations whereby these social issues can be discussed. I thought I saw one, Ritesh sir, I thought I saw one more sharing. I'll just discuss that. Hi all, last year, that's from Anita. Okay, last year during high school assembly, ours is a school, a girls' school, and we invited She's team to create awareness about safety use of mobile. Yes, an absolute problem facing all children, and parents are really having a tough time. So the use of mobile, they told students to avoid putting profile pics of them. That's again safety of children. And so it was wonderful, wonderful. Yes, awareness, creating awareness, making them aware that where things are going wrong and what could it lead to. So the next question for you is, any questions regarding what was shared? uh, Yes, Miss Salina says that yes, by using the SDG goals in our topics while